Girls of Reddit, what is something that guys may consider nice but is actually creepy to you? Coming into your workplace when you work in the service industry and act like they are the only customer that exists and they just keep talking. I have spent so much time waiting in checkout lines behind older men who are just so pleased to have the captive audience of a young female cashier that they forget that people are in line behind them. It's always so uncomfortable. And I want to yell, she's only tolerating you because she's at work. Surprise visits when you tell them you can't meet with them. Sometimes I think Hollywood puts shit like this into the movies just so that people will do it and stay single longer. Only to go and see more movies about romances they can never enjoy. Yeah. Go and propose to that girl you've known for 2 weeks while she's at work in front of everyone, and she doesn't even know you're in the country. That shit is creepy. It's the behavior of a crazy person. I don't know any girls that actually like the "I was could be with all these other girls but I couldn't stop thinking about you" line. Telling you how perfect and amazing you are excessively after you just met. Also, talking about how nice they are. I had a guy on a first date who just started massaging my back, which if he had asked, I would never say no to. But he didn't ask. Anyways, his was too hard and rough and hurt a ton. So I asked him to either stop or lighten the pressure and he got offended because he was only trying to be nice. A stranger I just met offering to walk me home because it's not safe to walk home alone. There's no nice way to say, but you could be a rapist. Plus, now I know you know I'm walking home alone and you could follow me. I never know how to deal with situations where I'm walking behind a woman, both heading home from a night out and apparently almost neighbors. If I can't overtake her, and besides, speeding up might scare her even more, I usually end up taking a detour just to ease her mind. Except then she's all alone on the street instead of having me, a good guy, behind her. Edit. That last part smells of white knighting or entitlement that I'm a kind of uncaped superhero vigilante that kicks rapist ass in his spare time. It's really not. I don't even know how I would react should I come upon such a situation. Went on a date last week with a guy who kept telling me he had a working with children check and a gun license. In Australia this isn't something most people have. He insisted that made him the safest guy in Australia. I suppose he was trying to make me feel comfortable. And if he had said it once it might have been a little weird and not creepy. But he said it multiple times. It felt like he was trying to get me to let my guard down. Throw in the fact that he kept talking about his big family farm that backs onto a national park and that he could take care of my horrible ex and no one would find the body. I was more than a little creeped out. Suffice to say I won't be seeing him again. This one guy sent me a video of him doing kinky stuff with other people. He thought it would be a turn on for me and make me want him. I thought it was a weird thing to do. Especially because he and I had just met and were not dating. I had a guy that I was dating do that. He sent a pic of his penis actually inserted into a woman's vagina. And they were in a f***ing car. I could not understand why he would think I would get turned on by that. I will say this. Girls do not care for the "I know all about you" type. Believe it or not. Some people just like knowing who they are in a one step at a time. Following me to my car house next class when I say I'm fine. You may think it's protective of me. But I said no and you might actually be what I'm trying to get away from. I had an aged relative who used to tell the story of how her husband, then of some 50 years, had first asked her out over the phone. She was a telephone operator. And then continued to call back and ask to speak with her, so he could ask her on a date. Over and over again for months until she agreed to go out with him. He then asked her to marry him, and was rejected, some 7 or 8 times before she agreed. I've never heard this story and thought AWW. That's sweet. On the contrary. It always felt weird, pathetic and stalkerish. And left me wondering whether social norms had changed. Or if my relative had just developed Stockholm Syndrome over the years. Calling me after a rapid fire of excessive texts that I don't answer. I don't know if this qualifies as nice, but twice I've been at work with my phone away, and when I've come back to it have a slew of texts asking where I am, what am I doing, am I okay, followed by a phone call. Damn son, I'm working, chill out. Getting honked at stopping your car to talk to me while I'm out running. Also telling me I'm too pretty to have a boyfriend when I'm out with friends. What the FCK does that even mean? Repeatedly insisting on helping us with something, like carrying our stuff or whatever, when we've already said no thank you. It's patronizing and also feels like an attempt to make us feel indebted. Damn. The more I read this thread, I'm realizing my advances seem to be really classy and mellow in comparison. I would die if I tried some of these things. Physically picking me up without notice. I'm lucky. Being taller than average and heavier than I look. So it doesn't happen a ton to me. But I've known a lot of short, petite women that deal with this on the regular. Catcalling. I don't care if think you're complimenting me. If you really cared about complimenting me, you would approach me like a normal person and say something. Not yell about how long my legs are from across the street. I work part-time at a restaurant that's huge for delivery orders. The amount of guys who ask me out over the phone is extremely uncomfortable. I'm not flirting. I'm just being polite and trying to get your order. Guys will frequently say stuff like, I'm sorry but you just have a pretty voice and I wanted to let you know. It's inappropriate and so unnecessary. I have to ask for their phone number so the delivery driver can call them, and they'll say stuff like, only if I can get yours. Or you have my address. You should stop by after work. When do you get off? What the FCK, you have no idea what I look like. I could be ugly as hell. My least favorite is when I ask anything else I can help you with. And they reply, depends. Can you be delivered with the pizza? Whenever I get upset or don't respond well to these remarks, they always insist they're just trying to be nice. Asking why I'm not smiling and telling me to be happy. Maybe I'm fine and relaxed and enjoying myself and just don't feel like smiling. Maybe it's none of your goddamn business either way. I was operating a camera at a concert recently. Right at the edge of the stage. The singer actually stopped his show to come over and ask me why I wasn't smiling. I'm working. You old prick. I'm not here to entertain you. Nor am I here to be entertained by you. I'm here to make money and go home. So leave me out of your show and let me focus on my job. Randomly adding me on Facebook and trying to develop a friendship. Maybe more, and then not getting the hint that I prefer making friends outside of Facebook and keep texting me. Honestly, it is not cool or modern. I find it rather disturbing when I receive random friend requests from people I haven't even one common friend with. Giving too many physical compliments compared to non-physical compliments, e.g. hobbies, personality, job. There should be a balance of the two. Otherwise it feels like all you like about or want from me is my body. And using pet names, e.g. cutie, baby, before we're actually dating. I find it so cheesy and gross. Constantly asking me if I'm okay and you can tell me anything. I share several classes with a male friend and we live in the same dorm building as well. I'm usually pretty talkative. But some days I just don't feel like socializing. There's been a couple days where said friend kept asking me what's wrong. That I can't tell him anything. And that he will always be there for me. Once. Fine. I appreciate it. But he asked 12 times in a 50-minute class. Followed by texting me all day with same questions. I know something was wrong. Just tell me, and even coming down to my floor to knock on my door and ask me again. I felt very oppressed. I appreciate people asking me what's wrong. But if I specifically say just don't feel like talking today, no, you need to back off. Sending you multiple messages on Facebook over a span of time saying hey hi what's up you're beautiful, hey hello what's up, and going on for months when you haven't replied to him a single time ever. In a movie when the girl clearly does not want to be touched and the guy keeps hugging kissing her anyways until she calms down. touching my hair. I get it, I have hair like that girl from Brave. It's pretty awesome. It's also tangly as FCK and you will get caught in it. Also, why the FCK are you touching me without permission? Telling me to smile when I have a straight face or when I'm frowning. Thinking I'm playing hard to get. No means no. This isn't a creepy romantic comedy. I'm a guy, but I had a creepy experience once as an older dude hit on my girlfriend at the time. We were at a friend's house and he had a bunch of state troopers as friends. One of the troopers was a total douchebag. At first he just casually mentioned that I had done good and if he were in my shoes he would feel pretty fortunate. Well, that turned into him slobbering all over himself, drunk, laughing like a madman, and every sentence he said got creepier and creepier. Like that jelly bean from Rick and Morty. Man, if I was in your shoes. Haha, or sips up drool. He was openly getting more aggressive as the night went on. He kept saying partial sentences, then biting his lip as if to keep himself from saying something. The things I would do. I wanted to f-king shoot him. Creepy ass son of a bitch. Honest to God, if you're anything like that man, I want you to know you disgust me to my core and you f-king ruined the game for everyone else. Wound up calling him out for being a sicko and left early. A couple guys I work with, at a fast-paced retail job, have just spontaneously come up to me and started massaging my shoulders. I hate it. They don't even ask. Asking if I want to see your dick or to have sex over a messaging website. Just why? Catcalling. Just no. It might seem like a compliment, but it doesn't feel like anything but intimidating. I really can't stand men who make compliments by belittling other people. Also, when they don't get the hint that having my earphones in doesn't mean please try to strike up a conversation. The amount of times I've had to tell people to stop yelling out of my car window to girl on the street is pretty sad. You look like a fool trying to impress anybody hanging out the side of a neon. Both of my serious boyfriends have been guitarists, but I hate being serenaded. It makes me want to die. Please stop, I don't know what to do. Or say. Or where to look. Offering to pay for everything if we're not dating. So creepy. I went on a 2-day field trip with an ecology class and this one guy literally offered to pay for everything for me. I told him I couldn't accept him paying for anything and he just winked and said it's okay. You can owe me. No thanks. Even in a relationship I like paying for dates, meals, other stuff to be equitable. Giving me gifts regularly. It feels like you're trying to bribe me into a friendship or relationship. And I don't like that feeling at all. Agreeing with everything I say. I have a male friend who does this, never disagrees with me. Never brings up any controversial topics. Always expresses interest in what I express interest in even if I know he doesn't like it. Never talks about his hobbies. And basically matches himself to me in every way he can. I know he thinks he's relating to me and trying to make sure I like him. But it comes off as a f-boy move. Oh, I want to stay in your good graces so you'll let me hit that. And I'm so insecure in myself that I feel like I need to conform myself to this girl so she'll like me. It's very creepy. Not to the going to wear your skin as a suit point of creepy. Not exactly creepy, but a lot of guys are convinced that telling a girl that she doesn't need all that makeup is one of the nicest things you can say to a girl. Don't get me wrong. It can be super nice for girls who genuinely think they need makeup or won't go out in public without it. But if a girl is wearing really dark makeup or makeup that is obviously not very natural, we're probably not wearing it because we feel self-conscious without it. Makeup is an artistic outlet for a lot of women, and personally, it's the one thing I do in the mornings a few days a week that is really fun for me, and it's frustrating when guys can't see it as anything more than a girl trying to look prettier. Believe me, I know I probably look more conventionally attractive without bright purple eyeshadow, but I don't really care because it's so fun to put on. Coming up to me randomly at the gym to compliment my workout. First of all, I'm trying to work out and I don't want to talk. Second of all, what am I supposed to say? Thanks. Since you're the gym overlord and king of exercise, Your compliment is really meaningful. I know the guys are trying to be nice, but it's creepy. If you see a girl hug someone she knows, do not pull the "don't I get a hug" card. If she wanted to hug you, she doesn't anymore after that shitty. No does not mean convince me or maybe. It means no. Come on, sweetie. Smile a little. Being told to smile by anyone. We're not smiling for a reason. Doesn't matter what reason. Leave us alone, thank you. Persistence. When you reject them and they keep trying to approach you, please stop, thanks. Playfully taking something. Tickling without consent. I once had a guy drive me home from school like 2 years ago, and he took my phone when we were in my driveway and wouldn't let me have it back for a while. He wouldn't let me out of the car either. He grabbed my thigh wrists and kept pulling me back, trying to hug and tickle me despite me screaming at him to stop. Apparently it wasn't that big of a deal because I was laughing. But I was only laughing because he was tickling me. I was crying too. How does one not understand when too much is too much? I haven't said anything more to him than polite conversation since. Real creep. Telling me that I'm not like other women. Women come in all shapes, sizes, colors, hobbies, and opinions. You know, just like men. There is no one way to woman. Telling me I'm not like other women insults my daughter, my close friends, my co-workers. Lots of women I adore. Which is the exact opposite of a compliment. Comparing how much better you are to their ex because you like blank. I had a guy who did this on everything. I told him that I liked his beard, and he'd go on a big rant about how his ex-wife hated it. I told him that I loved eating chicken quesadillas, and he proceeded to tell me that she thought they were absolutely disgusting. It almost became a game to see what he'd try telling me she hated. Eventually, it wound up with him telling me she hated baby elephants. And that's when I called him out on it. First date: excessive eye contact or admiring looks. Yes, eye contact is nice and a good sign of respect. And I know you're keen to show interest. But darling, there's a fine line you crossed into creepy staring. This seems like one of those things where too much is creepy and too little means you're not interested. Which means I have no idea what is and what isn't acceptable. Perfect. Older male customers offering to take me away with them or implying I could be their third wife. Not funny or flattering. Just creepy. My ex was Muslim. He once told me I love you, but you will go to hell. And the reason was just me not being Muslim. I still can't comprehend why it took me a year to break up with him. As a guy, I find it reassuring that I haven't committed any of these. I came here hoping to laugh at some creeps. Now I'm just confused. I shouldn't have come here. Chivalry. Suwu. You don't want me to take part in a 100-year war with peoples of a different religion? Ugh. Women. Lady. One girl's creep is another girl's Romeo. Insisting he pays for everything. For me, it's not an ego thing. And there is no expectation. I was just raised with that being how one treats a lady. If you insist, we can go Dutch. But my grandmother's voice will be in my head chastising me. Calling me a cool girl and complaining that more Jiris should be like me. It doesn't make me feel special. It just lets me know that you have a low opinion of women in general. I'm a guy. But one thing I can't help but notice that makes me cringe a bit is the sudden rush of eager guys making offers of "Oh, let me know if you need someone to talk to" when a girl becomes single. I see this every time a girl I'm friends with changes her Facebook relationship status to single. Depending on how attractive she is, the comments will be filled with posts from male friends. Chill out, fellows. Everyone knows what you're trying to do. My platonic male friend was just telling me about the way he approaches girls in public. He says he is aggressive and will walk up to a girl and immediately say that he finds her attractive and would like to take her out. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that's incredibly creepy. He is playing a numbers game. His strategy is going to have a poor positive response rate, but the rejection will come quick. In the rare cases where the response is positive, it normally means that he is very much her type physically and she is also very open to dating at the moment, which means that a date is likely be more successful. This tactic required you to have no shame because you are going to be turned down flat a ton. But some dudes just don't care.